Hey, good morning, everybody. How you doing there? And welcome to the chat session. I'm Rodney Ripper, your host, and we got my wonderful co-host here, Nina. How you doing, Nina?
I'm doing great, Rodney. How are you doing?
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, we are back, part two, with the one and only Mr. Nicholas Dibs. He is running for District 1 here in Garden Grove, California, running for a school board. This guy, he's an important guy. Been an educator for many, many years, and we had to have part two. This is the first time you've had the opportunity to meet him, Nina. Last time it was just me and Nick on, and we're glad to have you back, Nina. We had a big storm. Nina had a big storm
We
last
did. We
and kind of
did.
knocked
Lots
out.
of trees down and power outages, and it just prevented me from getting on last week. So
Don't worry, we held down the fort for you, but Mr. Nicholas Dibs is a fantastic guy. And I had the pleasure of meeting him at the Strawberry Festival 2024 here in Garden Grove, California. And Nicholas is just a dynamo guy, but he's got a real great mission for our youth, for community, and Nicholas, tell me what do you got going on? Talk to us.
Well, Rodney, first off, thank you for inviting me back a second time. I envisioned that we would need a second show in order to cover some of the important points that have to do with this race, which is really important for the state and the country because of the alleged interference using public taxpayer funds, staff time, and school district resources to interfere in the election, not only in 2016, but currently. As we speak, and so they're misusing these funds right now, and the school board refuses to put a stop to it. So, if we cannot have fair elections for school board, how are we going to have fair elections for Congress or president or any other office? So that's one of the points that I wanted to make this time that I didn't really have time to do last time. And then there's been some more developments with regard to the mini home situation where the Fullerton school district only has 3 middle schools or so, and one of them has a wood shop, and they just finished the mini home about 10 days ago, and it was in the news. So that news clip you have. And the point I want to make is Garden Grove is a much larger district with 10 intermediate schools. The other one only has 3, and yet they have a wood shop and we don't for intermediate level, and so, or junior high. So why can a smaller district have it and Garden Grove Unified not have it? And then lastly, of course, not lastly, but the other issue is the high demand for the trades and the shortage of workers. And then I showed this last time, tried to show it, the industry news article. Has a new poll. New poll shows high demand for skilled trades. This is the May issue, right here. There we go. Yeah. Industry company.
And you know what we're going to do for the audience out there. If anybody wants to see the white paper, make sure you let us know, because we got a PDF. You said that there's a PDF of this story, and there's some pretty heavy duty stuff. We were working. Me and Nicholas was sending me some great research, and I was on last night, and it's pretty remarkable when you see what is going on out here in the school system. And I'm looking here. Let me see this one clip here. I want to kind of introduce this so people understand exactly what Nicholas is talking about. And when you start talking about things happening here, this project where young people are actually getting their hands busy. And of course, hey, I believe in science, technology, engineering, the arts, and math. That's STEAM. That is the huge education push from the federal government all the way down. They want the kids to get more techie. That is true. However, there are still going to be a great need for people who have skilled laborers in their hands, because there are certain jobs that robots are just not there. I mean, they're just not there. They're coming. Don't get me wrong. There's going to be a lot of technology and advancements. Yes, we know that. But, Nicholas, you were saying for every skilled tradesman who retires and their exit, they're going to need to have two.
For every two that are leaving, only one's coming in. So on average, and that's across the trades. But someone brought this thing to my attention back in November. About Nicholas. My name's Nicholas, but Nicholas Middle School in Fullerton, back in November. So I spoke out at the school board meeting back then, and they were just starting the project. They were the students, and now they've finished it. So there's two news clips from KCAL, one from KCAL 9 News.
Here's the clip that you're referring to. Hold on, everybody. You're gonna love this. Watch. Get an eyeball. Get an earful and an eyeful of this.
Now at 1:30, wood shop students in Fullerton are hard at work on a unique class project that they hope will make a positive impact on their community. For that group assignment, the Nicholas Junior High 8th graders are building an actual tiny home.
And once it's complete, the keys to the home will be given to a local unhoused family. KTLA 5's Orange County Bureau Chief Chip Yost is live in Fullerton with more on this one-of-a-kind project. Chip?
Yeah, hey there, Glenn and Lou. It sounds hard to believe, but some junior high students here at Nicholas Junior High in Fullerton are getting ready to build a real tiny home that hopefully one day a homeless family will be able to move into. But before they start that tiny home, they have to build an even tinier one first. So this one's square, right? In Mr. Vidalis's woodshop class at Nicholas Junior High in Fullerton, these 8th grade students are getting ready to build a real home that real people will live in. But first, they have to learn how by building a tiny model.
And this is the flooring, and this is the installation. We use cotton balls for the installation.
I cut up these sticks, and I'm going to use these to make a wall.
Right now we're working on a 1/12 model scale of our tiny home that we're going to be building here at Nicholas, and right now we're building the insulation, the floorboards, the walls, all the framing.
All the money for the whole project is coming from community partners and from grants.
Jeremy Davis, an assistant superintendent for the Fullerton School District, said the project really started last year when the then 7th graders built this shed to understand some of the skills they would need to build a real tiny home that will look like this when it's finished. The home will be the size of this trailer that it will be built on top of.
So this is what the inside is going to look like. Again, we have the loft area, the sleeping area. You're going to have a restroom, a small little kitchenette area there.
Well, our goal is to not only build this, but then have one of our families that are part of our school district who are experiencing homelessness live in it for a short period of time so they can raise enough money to then move into their own place.
That's really nice that someone in need gets a home and we get to build it for them. And to know that I built that, my hands were doing that. Me and all my classmates built that home for someone in need is really awesome.
Now, barring any setbacks like bad weather, the goal is to complete this tiny home by sometime in May. Reporting live here in Fullerton, I'm Chip Yost, KTLA 5 News.
All right, thank you, Chip.
Thank you, Rodney. Rodney, thank you for showing that clip, because when I saw that clip, I went to the next school board meeting in November and I spoke out publicly and said, hey, if they can do it, why can't we? And your viewers who may have missed part one may not know, if you weren't tuned in last week, that the school district in June, we have 10 intermediate schools, and in June of 16, they cut the last 2 of the 10. And before that happened, the woodshop teacher at one of those 2 schools at Alamedas Intermediate School in Garden Grove said to me, because I worked in the district over 16 years, he said to me, the art teacher is retiring. They're going to make me the art teacher in the fall of 16 and cut the woodshop out. And pretty much the same thing at the second school. So or similar. So both schools were going to lose it. So I wrote to the superintendent before they cut the last 2 wood shops, a couple of months or a month or 2 before we got to the end of the semester, and asked them not to cut it. That he told me that the principal and the students and the parents all want the wood shop to stay, and that him and the principal went up to the 5th floor of the district office and begged the administrators not to cut it. So here you have a principal wanting the wood shop to stay at these last 2 schools, or at least her school, and then they're going to cut it anyway. I then do emails to the superintendent and the school board, and they still cut it. And ever since then I decided to run for school board in November of 16, narrowly lost because of the interference they did against me with taxpayer funds, which I didn't find out till the next year. But the point is that since then till now, I've gone to over 100 school board meetings and repeatedly have asked them, in not all the meetings, but many of them, to bring these classes back. And other people who've had these classes over the years go and speak out also. Then we started a petition, have over 800 signatures. They still won't do it. So this is a critical election for the community and the state and the country, to set an example that administrators and a school board who are not paying attention to what we need in our economy and our country, and who are refusing to do the common sense. And this is not about being a Republican, a Democrat, or an independent. It's about doing what's best for the students. And all 3, Republicans, Democrats, Independents, back what I'm trying to do. So
now, and I want to jump in here. And Nicholas, these are some very powerful allegations that you're making, but these things are not just allegations. These are actual factual things that are going on. And everybody, this is normally the chat session is pretty light, but working with Mr. Dibs here, and again, you're watching the This Way Network, you're watching the chat session, Rodney Allen Rippey, we got Nina on. Nina, I know you're looking like you got some questions. I know you got some questions.
I am.
Well, Nina always has great questions. Everybody, I just want to say to our viewers out there, AC, thank you. EU, we got people there from Poland. We have Elvira, Carrie, all of our diehards that are watching. Go ahead, Nicholas. Go ahead.
Okay, just a quick thing. They said in that November or October news clip that they were going to be done in May. 10 days ago or so, they finished it. There's another news clip from KCAL 9. Do you think before we go on, you could show that?
I got it. Hey, listen, we got the clip ready to go for you. And here you go. Remember, now that project that you saw, the young people, they were laying it out. Let's show, and big shout out to Fullerton. Hey, we have to give praise where praise due to the youth of Fullerton. You guys are amazing. And Kate, the news coverage, thank you for the news coverage, KTLA, for jumping on this great story. Here, hey, everybody, remember those young people were kind of working on it? Well, here's the finished product. You're going to love it.
Now at 4:30, proof you're never too young to make a difference. Junior high school students built a tiny home that will change one family's life. The 8th grade woodshop class from Nicholas Junior High in Fullerton spent the last several months designing and actually building the 192 square foot structure.
And now they're ready to share it with a family that needs it really desperately. KCAL's Michelle Geely has the story.
Here we have the restroom, bath, and shower. We have the kitchen area here. Right here is the living area.
All of it designed and built by 8th graders in Mr. Vidal's advanced woodshop class at Nicholas Junior High School in Fullerton.
You're gonna put it on top, balance it?
The tiny home the students constructed over the school year is a mere 192 square feet, smaller than a school bus. But this first ever Fullerton School District project has made a huge impact on these kids because of who will be living here.
This is for a homeless family in need of a home in the Fullerton area.
I thought it was just gonna be like a little shed, but it's like actually somewhere that people can live in and stuff.
The tiny home project was made possible because of donations from the Fullerton Education Foundation. Beginning last fall, the teenagers learned how to measure and assemble 2x4s, hang drywall, install insulation, cabinets, and flooring. It's the brainchild of district employee Pablo Diaz.
We knew we had a wood shop here still in the district where many schools eliminate their wood shops. We did not, and we wanted that to thrive, and we wanted those students to fall in love with and have, again, some energy behind a project that they could really dig into.
It feels nice because I know that a lot of people don't really think that kids can like really do stuff like this. Like they think that, oh, it's just like school, like play and then done. But they don't think that we can actually do big things. And I think that is cool.
This is where the tiny home will eventually sit. By August, it will be moved here on the grounds of Orangethorpe Elementary School. One of the district's 170 homeless families will be chosen to live in it.
It feels like thrilling to see something that I've done being so important.
A tiny home that's changed the lives of kids who just 9 months ago didn't know that something so important was even possible.
It's more than just our school. It's for the community now, and that's amazing.
In Fullerton, Michelle Geely, KCAL News.
President Biden is.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. And listen, Nicholas, you were right on it. And again, forgive me, everybody, I misspoke. That was KCAL News, KCBS Channel 2 here in Los Angeles. Thank you, my good friend, Mark Liu, Simon Editor. He was a former co-worker of mine at another news station. Now he is the top man over there. Shout out to you,
Okay,
Mark Liu, KC and KCAL. You got it.
One more point, Rodney, and that is after the first news clip back in October, November, I go to the November school board meeting. You have a 3-minute clip of that, of what I said to the Garden Grove Unified School Board and the superintendent.
Woo!
And I don't know if you want to play that. Now we just have audio, no visual.
Okay, hey everybody. I'm telling you, the chat session, we're on fire here because I have to tell you, Mr. Nicholas Dibs, he has the dibs on what the young people need in the trades here in Southern California, running for school board district number 1. You got to get your vote out for everybody. Now, remember, Mr. Dibs, after seeing all of this, he goes before the school board. And this is actual audio pulled from the school board meeting. So here you go, Mr. Nicholas Dibs speaking to the school board.
Great. We're going to go ahead and move along, starting with our public comments. We have a total of 1 speaker for this evening. Mr. Nicholas Dibs, you know the rules. Come on up, man.
Before you start my 3 minutes, I just love this room, and blue is my favorite color. I'm Nicholas Dibs, and I'm pleased to be here tonight. Boy, I have a smile on my face because on August 31st, ABC Eyewitness News did a news segment at Nicholas, which is my name, Nicholas Junior High in Fullerton. And they have Fullerton middle schoolers learn skills, help others by building tiny house for family in need. Once the tiny house is finished, a family in need will be able to call it home, all thanks to handiwork of local middle school students. With every swing of the hammer, these Nicholas Junior High School students get one step closer to helping a family in the community. 8th grader Edwin Ramirez says, "This makes me most excited about this house is that it's going to someone who needs it." Jeremy Davis, the Fullerton School District Assistant Superintendent for Innovation and Instructional Support, said it started with a request from their superintendent for ideas that would allow students to see potential careers that would make the world better. Davis said, according to state standards, about 1% of the 115 students in the district currently experience homelessness. School staff see this tiny house project as a way for woodshop students to learn skilled trades. So they have a woodshop there. We need to, as I've said, bring our woodshops back, including the last two that were cut at Ralston Intermediate and Alamedas Intermediate schools. And it says here, the student says, "I'm learning how to measure better, how to put walls up and work on roofs." Yearbook and ASB students test their skills documenting the progress of the home. Davis added, the assistant superintendent said, completion of the tiny house was expected in May. Until then, the foundation funding the project is accepting donations. Now, that's another issue. They have, this is a K-8 school district in Fullerton. They have a foundation. So they have a foundation. Little Salamitas Unified has a foundation. Long Beach Unified has a foundation. Laguna Beach Unified has a foundation. Many school districts have a foundation, and we don't have a foundation. We don't have woodshop classes. So let's bring these back to the intermediate school. And then lastly, a year from now is our elections, yet we still have the persistency of alleged misuse of public funds influencing the election coming up a year from now, because one lady who has declared to many people, including myself, that she intends to run if Terry Rocco doesn't, is getting free publicity on the Barker Elementary School homepage. It's very unethical, may not be illegal, but it's very unethical that taxpayer money is giving her 15 minutes of time on Barker Elementary School homepage. We need a policy from the district saying what the policy is for this kind of abuse. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dibs. Okay, we're going to go ahead and move along with our agenda. Next item is going to be the minutes.
Oh, that's pretty telling right there.
Yeah.
And so there is a school website. And then I have to tell you, there is a lady who is a huge real estate broker. She does huge you can go and check them out. You can go and check them out, and every home literally that she is handling are $1 million homes. And Nicholas was telling me that every time she sells one of these homes, of course, she gets a huge commission. She's making donations to the schools and doing wonderful things. Bless her for that. However, there's something a little sketchy about this, because her advertisement, and she interviewed the principal of this school. Now, picture this. You got a couple thousand kids in a school, and you're a real estate person, and you interview the principal, and you're kind of, it's very obvious that she's tooting her own horn, and he's so thankful. And Nicholas has a good point. Is there any type of fine line where businesses are kind of leveraging their relationships? And then Mr. Dibs was saying he wanted to interview this same principal to talk about, well, why are we shutting these classes down, and he can't get an interview. Very telling.
Well, it wasn't that principal, a different principal. But the point is the district has given her access to both a high school principal and an elementary school principal, and providing taxpayer funds to host that video on the Barker Elementary School homepage. That's unethical. She claims she's going to run for the seat if the incumbent doesn't run. And it's just unfair. And I brought it 3 times to the school board's attention, not only in that meeting, but 2 or 3 other ones. So we have misuse of public funds and favoritism, and it's wrong. That's just one example. There was another example in 2016 when I ran the first time. But the larger point is that they cut the last 2 wood shops in June of 16 out of the 10 intermediate schools, the last 2 left. And you have 10 schools. So if you leave the last 2, then at least somebody from the other 8 who really wants a shop class for 7th and 8th grade has 1 or 2 schools to pick from. Now they've been cut. We cannot do what Nicholas Middle School is doing, because we don't have any wood shops anymore for 7th and 8th grade. Okay, now everybody in the community, Democrats, Republicans, Independents, 99.9% of everybody I talk to wants these classes back. The only people who don't want these classes back are at least 3 of the current 5 school board members. Those 3 people plus the superintendent, 4 people are preventing this from happening, because if they wanted to do it, I've been speaking out at over 100 meetings since 2016. They've had 8 years to do this, and now they're not, and they still haven't done it. So
now, and Nicholas, hold on, I got to jump in here. And so you're in the middle of a race, and of course, you need campaign contributions to get behind you. I'm seeing comments come in, and Carrie is like, whoa, this is crazy. But here's the thing. There are multi-million, if not billion-dollar industries. There's here in Southern California, there's Ganal Lumber, incredible lumber business that got started. They're like a mini Home Depot, but they are coming into communities, and they're bringing great service, and they've got a great staff of people. These are the type of people. You have Harbor Freight Tools. You do have Home Depot and you've got Lowe's. You've got all of these major players that have all of the wood and nails and screws and Makita and DeWalt and all of these major companies, Black & Decker. These are billion-dollar companies that need to get behind you, because let me tell you something, Nicholas, if young people and this next generation of people do not have the skills to run these things, all of these people are done. All of them are done. Who's going to buy it? Go ahead, Nick.
Rodney. Let me just say this. We have two major issues going on here. One is for over 8 years, they're refusing to bring back any wood shops to the 7th and 8th grade. They've cut 4 auto shops from 7 of the high schools. So only 3 high schools have auto shop. And that's one issue. The other issue is misuse of public funds. Alleged, I'll say the word alleged, but we have the evidence, misuse of public funds to influence both the 2016 election that I ran in and this election coming up. And so this is wrong. The thing is, this is a presidential election year, and everybody's wrapped up in many other races that are going on across the country.
Right.
And this is one little race in one little part of Southern California. But it's important because we have to set an example for the whole country and the state that, hey, we're not going to take it anymore. The parents want these classes back. The school board is not listening, or the majority is not listening to them and taking effective action. And we have an out of control, in my view, in my opinion, based on what I've experienced and what other people have experienced, including the other clips you can show from the upset parent with the superintendent, that we have administrators who do whatever they want to do, pick on whoever they want to pick on, pay favoritism with whoever they want to be favorites with, influence elections using taxpayer resources and so on, allegedly, as I have the evidence that they've done.
And everybody, let me jump in here. Nicholas sent me something that was incredibly mind-blowing. There was a lady who went before the school board, and she was complaining about her daughter. Went to the superintendent, complaining that her daughter was not. She didn't feel like her daughter was getting the best education. And what happened, Nick? Talk about that.
Well, you have the video clip. Why don't we let her speak?
I wish I could. You know what, Nick? You sent me the clip, but I couldn't figure out where, because it was over 16 minutes, and I was trying to. Everybody, you've got to see this clip. Nick,
okay, you just go into about 5 minutes of it, and then it starts. But
it's 5 minutes. Well, listen, everybody. The moral of the story is, this parent had complained to the superintendent, and mysteriously, this parent goes to her job, and her boss had received a phone call. So it was like somebody in the school district.
No, it was the superintendent contacted her boss. She came and the boss, her supervisor, has nothing to do with her child's education. So if you can bring up that clip at some point, you know what? I'll have to get you that clip, everybody, because Nick, you might have to be back for show number 3. We might have to have you for show number 3. Nina, wait a minute. Hold on, wait. I don't want to forget my co-host, Nina. What are your thoughts? I see your wheels turning and smoke over there. Nina, please jump in.
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot of things over here. Actually, Nick, it sounds to me like what you're saying is that there is some cronyism and corruption in not just the school board, but even going back further than that. What are they even attempting to tell the public about why they're taking this position, knowing that the parents and the teachers and the principal and the schools are taking an opposite view?
Okay, as we know, it may cost more money per pupil to run a industrial arts or CTE or what we call a trades class than it does an academic class or another elective like art. So you got a financial part of this. However, when the last 2 of the 10 were cut in June of 16, we didn't have a financial crisis at that time. Mm-hmm. And we have a budget of over $1 billion in the district. So out of a budget of $1 billion, you're in the administration, it wants to replace retiring teachers with the woodshop teacher. The art teacher leaves, the woodshop teacher becomes the art teacher, we close down the woodshop. He said to me, they come up with some excuse like insurance. Well, we've had insurance for our auto shops for over the years. So they just come up with whatever reason they want to come up with to justify what they did. But it isn't right that you cut the last 2 of the 10. So this is not right. We had enough money. We have enough money to fund these 2 classes, and yet they chose to spend the money somewhere else. Cut an art teacher, or art teacher leaves, and cut the woodshop teacher position, and then what? Then everybody gets a raise. So
now let me point out, this is not really anything new, because this trend has been going on for quite some time. We're just seeing the I want to say like the death rattle of, what education used to be.
Well, Nina, you bring up a good point, which is the supply chain. You know, we've experienced these supply chains things that the decades ago, when they say we're going to offshore manufacturing to Mexico, to China, to Taiwan, to other countries, Vietnam, other countries. That's fine. We give jobs to people in other countries, but when you do that, you still have to have some manufacturing base here, and you have to have the trades here. And so the pendulum has been swinging for the last 30 years or more towards everyone's going to go to college and get a degree or whatever. And that isn't the case. We need to have we have a shortage of skilled trade workers in all the fields. And we also need, and not everyone's going to go to college. Okay. So this is short-sightedness to where the principal of the school with the woodshop teacher goes up to the administrators and begs them not to cut it, and they do it anyway. Then I do emails before they cut it, and they cut it anyway. Then after it's cut, I keep asking them to bring it back. They won't do it. And so it's a total disregard. And this is the problem we have in California with over 900 public school districts, is the state passes stuff, or they fund the districts, but each district does their own thing, basically within the parameters of the law. And so the state can't come down and there isn't enough oversight. There needs to be more oversight from Sacramento on stuff like this when they're cutting it. And we need some earmark money from the federal and the state government on these skilled trade classes. But this is also an issue of equity, because what happens to the students who aren't going to go to college? If you don't have the trade classes for them to get exposure to trades in the intermediate level, then they may not ever get into the trades. And then it's a choice of you either go to college or you work at Burger King or some fast food place.
Nicholas, I got to tell you, I have met so many incredible men and women who they say that their life, their current life, what is feeding them, what has put their children through college, what has bought them homes and really established their life, was their first love in school when they went to home ec class. A lot of people who took home ec and they learned how to cook, now they own restaurants. That young man or young woman who was in that wood shop, they now own a cabinetry company or wood flooring, and they're making $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year. This is real. This is not.
Rodney?
Yes, sir.
Rodney, so, we lost our home ec classes. I should have said that. Those got cut at the high schools, and you know this is and you have a video clip of the lady I interviewed.
Yes, matter of fact,
if you show that clip.
I was gonna hold that out for the end, but you know what? Now you brought it up. Everybody, Nicholas is out in the community again, running for District 1 in the city of Garden Grove. We're getting ready to get him interviewed on a local radio station, KLIE radio.
Well, and Rodney, we lost 15 minutes because of a technical problems getting this morning. But
yes,
because of the alleged use of and misuse of public taxpayer money, of staff time and school district resources, of interfering in the 2016 election and now interfering in the upcoming 2024 election, I do think we need another episode to cover this, because if we cannot have fair elections for school board, how are we going to have fair elections anywhere else? And the other point,
maybe we might need to invite a school board member or some people on and listen. Next time you know, and I appreciate you. And I've actually been talking with you in Ripped Marketing Group. That's my marketing PR company. I want to really get behind you, Nicholas, and get behind your campaign and help fan the flames, because people really need to understand who you are, what you've been doing for so many years, and this real serious problem that's going on. Because when they start shutting these classes down, I have actually been with another colleague of mine. There were, and when you say parents, some parents have the wrong idea when they say like an automotive shop. They think, oh, I don't want my son or daughter to be quote unquote a grease monkey and be all covered up in grease. Let me tell you something. These shop classes are not the old shop class. They are labs. These are actual technical labs. There was a school that I toured. They had $500,000 worth of tools. I'm talking about front end alignment things, tire changers. They had every world-class tool, and they shut the class down and made it a warehouse and just started storing desks and foolishness in there. And the kids were so sad. They were like, oh man, they closed the shop class down, the metal shop, electrical, all of these things. I used to be the business development manager for Intercoast College here in Southern California. They have 5 campuses around Southern California. I want to be able, and I used to enroll kids in HVAC and electrical, and these young men, it was incredible. They were getting certified at 20 years old, and they actually have a certification. They can walk into any place and get a life-sustaining job that would carry them, help them get a home. They could get married. They could have job security. That's what you're talking about, Nicholas. You're talking about a new generation of people where they can be homeowners and everything that they need.
Rodney, these are very important points. And it wasn't until I ran the first time in November of 16 on this platform back then of what you're just talking about, we have to have this. But then when they interfere in the election with staff time and taxpayer money, now it's a different ballgame. And so why don't you, I don't know if we can go, are we ending at 9:30 or are we going to go past 9:30?
You know what? Well, seeing how we had a couple technical difficulties, we will kind of push a little bit. It will ease a little bit, but don't worry. We're going to have you back. Everybody, here is a very important clip. This is just a random
So if they could see this clip of what this young woman says.
There we go, everybody. Coming right at you.
Hi, I'm Nicholas Dibs, teacher, longtime resident of Garden Grove, advocate for better schools and communities. I'm here with Erica. And Erica, thank you for stopping by. It's Friday at the Garden Grove Main Street Car Show. And you were kind enough to stop by and sign the petition to the school district and the Board of Education to bring back our shop classes. And you have a couple of kids now in the public schools.
I do.
And do you think they should have wood shop and the vocational classes?
Absolutely.
And you were saying, tell us about what you had when you were growing up. What kind of classes you had?
I had wood shop class. I had music class. I played an instrument. I also had typing class, and they were instrumental in my life, and they stayed with me. And it's very good to learn hands-on at a young age. So I definitely support that. And now that I have kids, I definitely would like them to have that as well.
Well, I don't know if you know that, but know that the 10 intermediate schools cut the wood shops and the metal shops, so now they don't exist anymore. And so that's one reason I'm asking people like you to sign this petition here, bring these classes back. And did you have home economics?
I did not have home economics because I was in sports and I had music.
But if you think they should come back?
Oh, yes.
Because some of the schools have cut those.
Yes.
So what is your message to the school board members and the superintendent and the administrators at Garden Grove Unified about bringing these shop classes back? Are 10 intermediate schools having the wood shop and metal shop, and our four high schools lost their auto shop. When should the school board bring those back?
The next school year.
Right away.
Yes.
And if they refuse to do it, should they be voted out of office?
Possibly.
Possibly, yes. They refuse
Us
to do it.
parents should be able to express our concern on what we think our kids need, and our kids definitely need hands-on experience. It's not all technology. You know, you still have cars that need to be fixed. You have boys and young girls who want to learn about cars. They need to learn it at school.
And even working with their hands to work with wood and metal and so on.
Yes.
So, and I hope if you have time that you can come to a school board meeting and voice your opinion. But if not, of course, we have this video. But thank you. Anything you'd like to add?
No, I look forward to some changes coming along, and some good changes of keeping the tradition from years ago, and what worked for kids long ago will still work for them now.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I'm just very concerned and upset that the district is not bringing these classes back. So thank you, Erica, for stopping by, and you have your wonderful dog with you also.
Coco here.
Coco.
We should interview the dog too.
Hey, Coco, do you want the shop?
There you go. I mean, you can't get any better than that. I mean, you're out in the community, Nicholas. Seriously, I mean, you're out pounding the pavement, and you're doing the very best that you can to sound the alarm. And this is serious. Mm-hmm. And Nina, you know, you're on the political side. What was that wonderful group of women that were also going around? They were the mothers, the mothers that were kind of, that we had.
Moms for Liberty.
Moms for Liberty. These are the type of people that need to endorse Nicholas Dibs. You know, Moms for Liberty, man, because, and they are a nationwide organization. They have chapters all across the country. So we got to hook you up, brother. We got to get you thinking, you know, in that, and you know, because we need people who believe in Mr. Dibs and the purpose. And I mean, this is some serious stuff that's going on. Everybody, you got to make sure, check it out. You got to make sure. Go to
let me. I want to. There's something else I want to touch on here, because there's so much stuff. It's not just the losing the trade classes. Something you said before, even in the first program, Nick, you were talking about how the wood shop teacher, his class was being eliminated. The art teacher had retired, and they were going to move him over to art, as if somehow these are so overlapping that he should know how to do this. How do you think parents are, and I want to bring this up because, like I said, this is not a new thing. When I graduated from high school, I had a German teacher that I really enjoyed, don't get me wrong, but she did not speak fluent German, had never been to Germany. And we asked her, well, how did you end up teaching German then? And she said, well, actually, I got my degree in physical education and I minored in German, thinking that if I did that, I would never have to teach German and they would always give me, you know, PE classes. She eventually did get moved and became a PE teacher in the same school. But for the first 2 or 3 years, she was doing nothing but teaching German classes. Now, to me, I'm like, okay, but she did have some, you know, she minored in that in college. She did have some education in that. But you're talking about a shop teacher getting moved over to art. He has no education in art whatsoever. So how do you think parents are going to feel knowing that this has actually been going on for a long time, that their kids might be getting a substandard education because they're moving teachers into teaching something that they have no expertise in?
Okay, just to correct the record, he said to me, I've taught this woodshop class for many, many years. I do have a art credential, but I don't want to teach art. I want to teach. So he doesn't have the experience because he's been teaching woodshop for decades or for many years. And he said, I don't want to be teaching art. I want to teach woodshop. And that's the shortage we have, is those trades. And so he said, yes, I have an art credential, but it's short-sighted. He indicated it's not right that you move someone who has all this experience in the shop trade field as carpentry and so on, and move them into art and expect them to be able to hit the ball, to hit the road running in art when he's been teaching woodshop. So he made it very clear, and the principal didn't want that to happen either. And so this is our administrators in the district office, just they didn't care. They went ahead and did it, and they've done other things that aren't right.
Wow. Well, there's going to be some. I mean, this election is very, very important. And again, you're running for District 1 here in Garden Grove, California, and you know there are certain people who are making really good common sense, and you're one of them. And I mean, you are the person that's making common sense.
Okay, but I'm not part of the establishment. I'm not part of the cabal. I'm not part of the clique. And because
that is, that's the other point I wanted to bring up, because Nick, teach the ones who should be running for school board, not the administration, not the school district, not people from that, because all they're doing then is it's a yes group. They're just reinforcing each other rather than giving somebody, having somebody who is going to hold them accountable, give them some balance, hold their feet to the fire. That's what you need on the school board.
Well, that's what And Nina, you bring up a good point, because my opponent had just retired after 40 some years working as a high level administrator at the district office. And a few weeks or months later, when there's a vacancy on the school board, they were going to appoint somebody to fill that term. They did appoint someone. They appointed her, but there were 7 of us, including myself, who applied for that position to be appointed. Who do they appoint? The one that just retired, who's close with all the administrators, who is an administrator who just retired, and move her into the school board. And that is ethically not right, because like you said, we have to have people on that school board who are going to ask questions and hold the superintendent and administrators accountable. We're not getting that, in my opinion, with someone
who's just got a rubber stamp what they want to do every time.
So she's a nice lady, but I disagree that she should be on the school board from the beginning because of this, where she came from as administrator. How can you have an administrator watching, a retired administrator watching over administrators? So we need parents and teachers and people in the community. And I've lived here many years, but I'm up against a cabal of people who are dedicated to stop me. And they tried it in 2000. They did do it in 2016 with taxpayer money, and they're doing it now. And so,
and Nick, you told me that they were running some kind of message on the phones or something like that.
Yeah, they used the school district phone system to trash my name in 31 seconds. And this is wrong, and we're running out of time. But I can overcome this. But the missing ingredient is I need some endorsements. I have a lot of endorsements already, but they're not up on the website yet. And I need some more endorsements. Even if there's people across the country that want to endorse me, get in touch with me. And if you can endorse, that'd be great. And also contributions, campaign contributions. At your last show last week, one person donated $25, for which I'm grateful. But it's kind of like everybody's standing around and everybody expects somebody else to do it. So even if you can donate $5 or $10, every little bit helps.
That's right. That's right. And you know what? We want, you're wanting better schools, better communities. It's really everybody. Go to nickdibs.org, nickdibs.org. Please make a donation today. Help this great candidate out, because, you really, truly are a patriot. You're in the trenches out there, and you're trying to make a difference. And I'm around a lot of people from the entertainment industry, from politics. And when you start talking about, where we are hitting, that fork in the road where there are problems, you look at young people, they just don't have that. They don't have that desire, that drive like they used to. And that came from those wood shops and those metal shops and home ec. And even
knowing that you're doing something useful, that when you can tie what you're learning to knowing I am going to use this someday, that this is maybe even, tomorrow, that really lights a fire in students and makes them want to learn. And so that's what we need, more things like that, not less like
Yeah,
that. What do you think happened years ago that these things began to fall out of favor?
Well, in California in 1978, we had Prop 13, which cut quite a bit of some of the school budgets. But it just think that the short-sightedness of our leaders in Washington D.C. and in Sacramento, who think that we're going to offshore all of our manufacturing or most of it, and we're going to have a race to the bottom with wages. And so, NAFTA, I don't think helped. I don't think that it's a combination of things. And I just think at this point, we need to reverse this trend. But what really bothers me is that they used taxpayer funds of the school system resource, the school district staff time and school district resources to interfere in the 2016 election. I have the evidence. They can't deny it. And the only reason that I didn't succeed taking them to court was my attorney didn't file a tort claim. And because he didn't file a tort claim, the case was dismissed for lack of a tort claim. So not on the merits of the case. The tort claim was filed late, and then the second attorney messed up on the case too. So it was all on a legal technicality on that. But it bothers me that if they can do it in this in this area, interfere in elections with taxpayer resources and school district staff time and funds and so on, they can do it anywhere. So we have to stop this. And if we don't stop it here, it can get out of hand where local governments are going to, zealous administrators use their positions and or school district resources to interfere in elections. That really, really bothers me. That really bothers me. And I hope we can cover more of that in the next episode.
And Candidate Dibs, that's what this is all about, getting you exposure and really getting down to the facts. I mean, this is just, it's an open playing field, but where you're talking about is it's a very serious issue about having people interfering with things. And so many parents want their daughters, their sons.
The community. The community here does not know what they did to me in 2016. There's only a few people that know about this. It needs to be exposed. And anybody who's a reporter anywhere in this country who could do a story about this, because it's not just about Garden Grove, California. It's about school district administrators misusing taxpayer funds and their position and staff time to knock me out. And I narrowly lost that race of 1,168 votes. And what they did was wrong. It's unethical. And even, it's just, we have to have fair elections. And if we don't have fair elections, it's a disgrace to our country. And
well, you listen, we know exactly what you're saying. And the fact is, and what is going to help you is truth and exposure. And so we're going to do the very best we can. We're going to share this interview. I've got some pretty nice contacts that we want to share this. I've been getting comments. Carrie said you are a true deep thinker and you're on it. And a lot of people
we need some people in the media to expose this. We need some people to expose the misuse of these funds that was done at 2016 and which is being done right now. Giving that wealthy real estate agent over 15 minutes of free time on a school district website, when we've never, in all the years I've been around, I've never seen a business getting promoted or getting access to school district on a website and being interviewing a principal and so on. And she did two principals. But so that, Rodney, this is that's why I say it's this. We need support from around the country, and anybody who has connections with the news media, whether the national news media or local news media, we need some coverage on this issue, and we need some contributions to help me, because I can't. I'm up against a cabal of people, and I self-funded most of it. The first two campaigns, I can't afford to do this campaign with my own money. I can't afford it.
I would love to see Mike Rowe find out about this.
Yeah,
because I think he would get some exposure there. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to get.
Go ahead.
If we could get him on your program, that would be great too. But we need to get onto my. We need to connect with him. Other people have mentioned this as well. And by the way,
we've got some other resources and some other great people and organizations who believe in what you're doing.
But let me just say this. Other school districts around here are bringing in the trade classes. Santa Ana Unified is big on this, and we just saw Fullerton School District. There's other districts, but yet I can't get Garden Grove to do much of anything when it comes to these. Okay, and then they put out a job flyer and they want to hire some part-time trade people. You're not going to be able to hire an auto shop teacher part-time unless they're retired or something. But we need money. If we're putting money into, so that's part of it. But it's a question of priorities. And they gave 4 bus drivers, supervisors, a $25,000 a year raise in 1 year, each of them. That's $100 grand. Now that the bus drivers were upset about it, so the district had to walk it back. But if they could spend $100,000 to give a big raise to 4 supervisors, why can't they fund 1 or 2 woodshop classes?
Wow. Well,
great question.
You've got some powerful facts. And everybody, forgive me. I wish you could have solved this video where the parent had to go and.
Well, maybe we can play it at the next episode if you have.
Yeah, we definitely gonna have to have you back again. Everybody, you have been watching the chat session right here on the This Way Network. Me and my co-host, wonderful Nina. Thank you, Nina, for being on with me. Nicholas Dibs, he is candidate for District 1 school board here in Garden Grove, California. Thank you for coming back, and we definitely going to have you back again, and we're going to continue to fan the flames. And Nina, you got something to say. I can see you chomping. What are you thinking, Nina?
I just want to say to everybody, go to his campaign. It's right there on the screen. Donate if you can. If you know connections that would help him, then please put him in touch with those. And y'all, stop and think about this. What happens in California usually ends up happening in the rest of the country. I actually think this has been going on for years under the covers, under the radar. Now it's actually, the fruit of it is being clearly seen. And something needs to turn around. Things need to turn around. This guy is helping to do it. More parents need to step up. More teachers need to step up and run for school board and do what you can to make a difference in your community. And y'all, be of good courage, because God is with us and we are not alone.
And I thank God for introducing me to Rodney.
Oh,
amen.
Hey, praise God. Thank you, brother. And like I said, everybody have a wonderful week. And again, you've been watching the chat session right here on the This Way Network. See you next time.
Thank you, Rodney.
Bye, everybody.